This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.
I'm going to be fully honest. I had a conversation with her before we even started today, and I'm already in a better mood. I was in a great mood. Now I'm in a better one because her energy is just amazing. She's so grounded. She gets it when it comes to the universe supporting us, things around us, and also in terms of her holistic healing, which she provides using many different modalities. So great to have her back with us. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not really sure what we're talking about today, but I know it's going to be good. She's a spiritual teacher, a guide, and author of a fantastic book as well. She is Barbara Ann Strassman, and she's back with us. How you doing today?
I'm doing great, Steve. It's nice to reconnect.
Yes, and I know we just started a new year, and if you use numerology, 2026, you put it together, comes out to 10, which is really one. Um,
Yes.
what does that represent? One.
Okay. So one is new beginnings. Um,
Hmm.
and I'm not an astrologer, but everything you read with the astrology the past year has been focusing on one, the new year coming up. And it's always new for us, but it's a collective newness as the planets align in different ways.
Yep.
And the year we just came out of, 2025, is a nine, and nine is completion. And in numerology, my name adds up to a nine. So this might be my last life. I don't know. It might be the
Not true.
conclusion. I'm hoping to ascend. But
No,
the
this is the end of one chapter and the beginning of the next one.
right. But it's not just the chapter, it's about completing the lessons that we don't need anymore. What have we graduated from?
Mm.
Patterns that aren't serving us, maybe beliefs that aren't serving us, maybe being robotic and keeping our head in the sand and not being present. What in our life do we need to end so that we can ascend in the new year? How do we become more conscious, living more consciously?
Thank you for saying
We're
that.
aware of interactions.
I gotta tell you, I have this like quiet excitement hearing what you just said. And when you think about it in terms of our lives, like I'm applying it to mine. Um, 2025 was a technical ending of a chapter. So that
Okay.
makes perfect sense. Long time coming. And some other things too. And the things we do out of, like you said, robotic, we just, rinse and repeat every day. It does that really support us? And
Mhm.
maybe it's time to look at that, change it or end it, and then start something new. And I feel that this, and I'm not just like drinking the Kool-Aid. I really feel that this is a new beginning type year. And I also do podcasts with astrologers and spot on what you're talking about. There's
Oh,
transits all the time and planetary alignment that hasn't taken place in
right.
decades or centuries.
Centuries,
It's it's
thousands
here
of years.
now, so we should be mindful of it and harness the power of that.
It beautifully said, beautifully. And one of the astrologers I work with says that the stars guide you, but you make the choices. So we have to harness that power.
Yeah.
What does it mean for us? And that internal, um, it's the pause. So like since the solstice, I've been guided to really go deep within, to really go into that pause, because it's the rebalancing. And the rebalancing is looking, right? Look at what's in the past. How do I want to be in the future? As I said before, living consciously, but maybe it's really true. Those planets are helping us. And so I look at like our program, and we were supposed to start at a different date, a different time. So I look at the numerology and say, oh, okay, why did this change? What are the energy? Oh, yep, sorry, when I do that, that's spirit coming through. Um, the energies are different today. They're maybe better and what. So everything happens for a reason. And each time I talk to you, you're in the middle of a transition. You've just had something happen. It's fascinating if you go back to our previous conversation. So we're always connecting in at a time that there is a shift.
And
And it,
it's day by day because I feel totally different today than I felt yesterday. And I don't know why. I thought I slept well yesterday. You try to figure it out, but maybe it's just the energy around us, the alignment of the planets. I don't run deep in astrology either,
yeah,
um, but I pilot by my intuition. I was going to take care of some things at the end of the month. I canceled them, and I'm just going with the feeling. And anytime I don't honor that, it doesn't go well, or, or not
exactly.
as expected. Yeah.
Exactly. So you have to listen. So I
Mm.
applaud you because you are listening. And we don't always know why we feel different today, but it's staying in tune with that and following the guidance. And that's really what my second book is about,
Mm.
is how to live consciously, how to make choices from the guidance, if you will. Like you're saying, trusting that gut, what feels right today, what doesn't, because it's not from the mind. And I was listening to a program yesterday about the difference between Lemuria and Atlantis. And that's a long story, but there are a lot of predictions coming in. Um, but the energies, right? You can come from a heart energy, a very emotional and heartfelt energy, or you can just come from the mind, the thinking, the creating. And so we want to combine everything because we do have to think to balance our checkbook, drive our car. But I want you to live consciously, as you're saying, aware of the vibrations in you and what are the energies, the messages. Because if you're grounded, you're getting those messages, and you clearly are.
Should we change the ratio of the head to the heart and focus more on the heartfelt feelings? Because a lot of times the head gets in the way. Instead of a 50-50 split, call it more of maybe 70-30, 70% being what's coming from your heart.
I'd change those percentages.
Go right ahead. Those are
um,
hypothetical for demonstration purposes only.
right, right. I would love to see more of the heart, and I believe that's what the divine feminine energies that we're now in. As the astrology has changed, we're coming more into that heart center.
Mm,
But yet they're combined. So the heart has a mind, the gut has a mind or a brain, and so does the brain. So we actually have three.
yeah.
And so body, mind, spirit, we're balancing them all, and to not even have to think,
Mm.
but yet it comes in when we need it to, right?
Is
So
is that
there's a
divine
difference.
guidance where it is, and divine you can put that in whatever context you want, but it's almost as if somebody is holding your hand, just reaching out like, I got you. Whether it's universe, whether it's spirit, whatever it is,
Right.
it's holding your hands like, wait, come this way, we're good. But trust me, you got to trust me.
Exactly. It's a force, it's an
Mm,
energy.
mm,
And the more in tune you are, you can feel it as a sensation sometimes or as an emotion. It's
mm.
like, whoo, what just went through me? Um, so it's the listening with your whole body, Steve, right? Listening with all your cells because they take in the information, your auric field takes in that information. So as we become less robotic, as we teach the breath work, as I teach the meditation, you become more in tune with that. And then we're more in tune with each other,
Mm.
right? We were talking earlier about connections. You could have missed the connections and the signs if you were not in tune. And so then you're really missing living.
I mean, I shared some things not even worth talking about here, because it's not about me, but I shared some things with you about those connection signs synergy. I couldn't deny them. Like it just, and they were all to support my journey. So further proof that the universe has your back and wants the best
Right.
thing for you. Um, just put it out there and do the right thing, I feel, and then it starts coming back to you. Now, you pulled a card for today as
Yes.
to what we were going to focus on. I have no idea what the card was or
Mhm.
is. What you got?
Okay. So this is from my second book, The Way of God's Love. I produced a deck of cards that are the lessons in the book, the universal laws, the lessons that I've learned.
Hmm,
So as we do with angel cards, we connect in with source, we ground, we shuffle and say, what do we need to know today?
hmm.
So this is lesson number 33. And 33, let me show you, is what we call the Christ consciousness. And it's not about Jesus, if you really go in and study. It's any being who has mastered the higher consciousness. So it could be Buddha, it could be Confucius, whoever has gone to that higher level of consciousness. And so it was like, wow, this is a perfect way to start the year. And to me, it just shows the alignment. So anyway, so lesson number 33, and I did not plan the numbers when I did the book. It was all guided. Lesson 33 says, every part of our being is affected by traumas, shock, losses, and events that trigger our fight or flight response.
And there it is. And there is what I believe, want your feedback, inherently holding us back from moving forward.
And why do you think it holds us back?
Fear.
And where does fear reside in your body, Steve?
Mm.
Where does it hit you?
Uh, is it different for everyone? For me, it's my stomach. uh,
Mm-hmm.
you know, but that fear, I mean, it's we're bred with that to protect us. But
Yeah,
if we want to go into, the deeper stuff, the subconscious, the stuff you experience in childhood and along the
right.
way has has shaped the way you react to things now, and
Exactly.
and that can hold you back.
Right. And it does.
Mm,
Because a shock, in my world, a shock or a trauma, sometimes we call it a whiplash. Like a car accident is a whiplash,
sure.
but you can have emotional whiplash, energetic. So it like, woo, it's a sucker punch, right? It goes to that belly, it goes to that solar plexus, and it's like takes our breath away. So a lot of the healing work to help people move forward is to call back our breath. We want to release that trauma on all the different levels. So coming down through your auric field without going into a lot of detail, the last place an energy gets held is in your physical body. So it
Mm,
literally can take your breath away. You gasp, you go into a state of shock. And when you're in shock, you're robotic. You're not, all the things we've just said, you can't sense, you can't feel,
yep.
you're not really here. And so when we're in that state of being, we're not fully living, right? So how can you move forward, but we don't even know it.
It becomes the norm, and it's almost as if you're tiptoeing on ice, afraid to crack the ice, afraid to fall. You just want to get to the other side of the pond. Um, in
Yes.
in what we're saying here, and I'm just going to, by personal experience, once you start doing some of this work, become a little more grounded, when you take a hit to the gut, that like, what the heck? I've found, and please tell me if this is what you hear and have experienced, that where previously something may happen and you could go on for days, like, oh my gosh, like what? How would that even happen? I'm like, well, now I find it's like you get the initial shock of something, and then it's gone. Like it's like, we're fine with that. Yeah. But the amount of time that you're fine with it and you have that faith and it's all going to work out is minimized. The shock is minimized once you start doing this work. Does that make sense?
Once you start doing the work, it can be minimized, right? Because then you approach it differently. You ask, what is it really about? Which is what we teach people. What was this really about? What's the message? How does this connect? Like, it does remind you of something from the past. So if you really do that work, you can go deeper and deeper and undo it. And so, yes, there's the impact doesn't continue to the same degree, but the question is it still being held on a cellular or energetic level?
Mm.
And you won't know that until something similar, a similar vibration hits you again. But the great thing is, it sounds like you are processing it on many different levels and letting it go. But you want to say, okay, what was this really about, universe? Why did it impact you? So to understand, but to let it go. So again, it sounds like you're really doing your work that you can let it go, but you want to say, okay, and release whatever this pattern is. Do I need to learn this lesson again? What was it really about?
Never thought of it that way. I'm looking at it more as minimizing the shock. So it's good. The shock's going to be there. Surprise is going to be there. That's life. It's there.
Yes.
But I've never thought of it as, all right, well, why did that happen? Or what's the reason? Is it true to assume that sometimes we might not even know the reason why or the answer?
Oh, totally. Totally. Unless, again, you're consciously working it. And so some people maybe just hold on to it, and
Mm.
maybe you don't. You're at that stage that you can let go, where others, on some level, they're not letting go of what just happened because they've got the anger or the resentment or, oh my God, nobody ever likes me. Whatever their story
Whatever it
is,
is. Yeah.
it
Yeah.
goes.
And that's the truth. I did that. That's how I can, that's why I can say this, where, I would sit with it for days, weeks, where now it could be 10 minutes, like, bam. Oh, wow. I'm like, oh, what the heck just happened? How am I going to deal with that? I was like,
Yeah.
why am I even worrying about that? Put that off to the side. This
Yeah.
being 1 year, new beginnings,
Yep.
what's your advice and guidance for anybody who is working towards some goals
Mhm.
and it hasn't taken place? Like they haven't gotten to where they want to be. They see it, they're working, they're doing, a fairly good job of working their way toward what they feel they want, but that just hasn't happened. But they don't want to take it, they don't want to lose steam in that journey. How do you find the faith and the knowing that keep going? This, if you're believing it, it's going to happen. You're on the universe's time, not your own time.
So I agree with that. It's all the universe's time. But right now, we're really being directed, if you will, to look at things from that higher perspective. Because what we think we want to do and our focus is, if it hasn't been happening, either you want to connect in and say, okay, what is blocking me? Or is this not really my best and highest? I can think it is, but it's not what universe really wants me to do.
And it's not really what you want to hear.
Right, right. So you have to be able to let go and drop in and say, okay, what are my patterns? Have I done something similar before? Because if we're pushing it, as we say, if we're trying to force something, it's not meant to be. We
Mm.
can't do it the old way anymore. It's really about literally following the guidance. And I've had a few things in the last 2 weeks, and it's like, oh my goodness. Um, Not necessarily something that I thought I was going to do in the future, but I am getting messages in the moment. So it's opening to that, letting go of what we think. That's the biggest thing. Let go of what we think, our patterns, our mode of operation,
Mm.
and just say, okay, source, universe, whatever, take over. I surrender. So give that space to see maybe there's something else.
It's
Because we're
challenging,
co-creating now. Before it was not us.
challenging and can be frustrating when you've put a lot of work into something
Mhm.
and it's not going the direction or even uh, growing the way you expected it to be. And this could be professionally, could be personally, whatever it is.
Right?
And it goes back to what I believe that we all suffer. We're all grieving. We're all grieving. Everything, there's loss
Mm.
that we don't even know that we're feeling. And there could be even loss in that. Like I worked so hard for this and it's not working. Well, there's a
No,
loss
we all
there. There's a loss. It hurts, but it's, maybe it's not meant to be, i.e., what we're talking about here in terms of the universe.
right. So if you look at the patterns, if you go back in time, and again, the book goes into patterns. Oh my God. We have
Mm,
all different levels of patterns, right? Um, if you look at your patterns, you can say, okay, this is where I got stopped, or this is how I self-sabotaged, or this is where I disconnected, from the guidance because I thought I knew what's best. So we have to look at what we have learned, right? We learn from history, and then we can evolve and choose in a new way.
mm.
That makes sense?
It does. It does.
It's stepping out of it's stepping out of ego, Steve. I don't know what's best, so I need to let go of my
Well,
ego.
yes, that's a really great point that the ego comes in. We don't know what's best. It's almost better to lean back and let whatever is going to happen because you ultimately can't control it. I think in music, I've played songs on the millions of songs on the radio, still do it every day. Been doing it since I was 17. And there's a song that just dropped out of the sky for me. And I want to share some of the lyrics because it says a lot of what we're talking about. Is that okay?
Yes.
This is not a hit song, but
Okay.
I've known this song since I was a kid. And I
All
don't know why.
right.
I used to go deep into album tracks. This song's from the mid 70s. And
Go for it.
again, I've known of this song since when I was in my teens,
And
but
it touched you.
now it makes sense. It's Part of the Plan by Dan Fogelberg.
Oh,
And I'm just going to read very quickly here. I have these moments all steady and strong. I'm feeling so holy and humble. The next thing I know, I'm all worried and weak, and I feel myself starting to crumble. The meanings get lost and the teachings get tossed, and you don't know what you're going to do next. You wait for the sun, but it never quite comes. Some kind of message comes through to you. Some kind of message comes through to you. And it says, love when you can, cry when you have to, be who you must. It's a part of the plan. Await your arrival with simple survival. And one day we'll all understand. And one day we'll all understand. Part of the
beautiful.
plan. It's what it sounds
Beautiful.
like we're talking about.
It is. It is. Exactly. And do we not have to go through those difficult times or the times that maybe we say aren't working? Because we have to go into that deeper aspect. We have to stop and look. You don't just keep rising, 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 rising. You have your lessons, you have your pitfalls, or maybe your dark night of the soul to really get
Hmm.
the
Well,
message.
but what I see there in imagery is that you're piloting your ship in the journey of life. And what does a ship do? It makes course corrections. Oh, a storm just came, blew off course. Got to come back again. So it's not I'm on that ship. I'm at my destination. You're always making slight changes. Oh, we got a storm over there. I'm going to, circumvent that and go over here.
Right.
It's it's part of the plan, I guess.
Right. And there's so many messages about a ship. I
Yeah.
mean, oh, there's so many things, right?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like adjust your sails to the wind. You can't control the wind, as you're saying. So we adjust our sails. We
Exactly.
follow those messages.
Mm.
And yeah,
I
that's
could keep going with you for hours. And I mean that. I don't want to say that. You are so clear, concise, insightful. If somebody's looking to make some changes and really understand this stuff better, what's the best way to find you? And I guess it would be your website, and would book
Mhm.
information be there as well?
Yep. So my website, www.heartandsoulholistic.com. I have all the different healing modalities there. My books are there. And if you sign up for the email, you'll get all the information on classes and on retreats. And classes are really taking off right now. We've got my basic level meditation class going. The conscious conversation starts in February, and I have a high level meditation class as well. And then the number's there to reach out to me, because we meet people wherever they're at.
Yeah. You are
That's
amazing.
key.
You really are.
Well, I love talking to you.
I love talking to you. It's like these are the answers for the things that I feel, and I think many of us try to figure out. And it's all here. Barbara, thank you for today. Let's celebrate the 1 year and use it
Yes.
to our advantage.
New beginnings.
Yep,
Great.
you got it.
Thank you, Steve. Good
Thank
luck.
you. We'll talk soon.
Okay,
Appreciate
bye-bye.
it.
This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.